It is Mama 2, Wife of 1, and I'm back for another installment of Married at First Sight, Season 17, Episode something or other. So, you guys can tell how excited I am to talk about this show. I'm going to be a woman of my word. I'm going to watch the entire episode. I'm going to watch the whole season. I'm going to finish doing my review and recap. But I will say for this past episode, the only thing that was exciting for me was seeing Michael. I would love for the next episode to just be about Michael. I literally don't need to see any of the other couples, like, at all. I don't even know where to start. We'll save Michael for last. That was the only thing I was excited about. Lauren and Orion, I don't know why we're still seeing them, but we saw them talking to Cameron and Claire, who sought them out for their advice. In theory, why are we asking advice? Oh, actually, no, before I get into that, I'm so sorry. Hi, guys. I'm Mama 2 Wife 1. This is your first time clicking on my channel. So sorry. Mama 2 Wife 1, content creator. I'm a writer. I'm an editor, blogger, vlogger. You know, somebody's sister, somebody's daughter, somebody's godmother, somebody's cousin, somebody's niece. You know, a few things here and there. And I talk about some stuff. So I'm talking about Married at First Sight. I review and recap the show. This is my last season that I'm reviewing and recapping because in my heart it's just not in anymore, and the show has really gone downhill since I started watching. So won't be doing any more seasons, but I'm going to finish out season 17. I was going to say finish out strong. I don't know how strong it'll be, but either way I'm going to finish it. So here we are with that. Before I continue, please make sure that you like this video, share this video with people who may like the show or somebody who may just want to find a new person to follow. Hey, I'm available. Follow me on here. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and comment below. So again, we'll get started. Lauren and Orion, they said they're going to divorce. That's great. That's wonderful. They brought them back for a split second to basically give advice to Cameron and Claire. This is supposed to be the episode where all the couples are celebrating their 1 month anniversary. And for them, they're halfway through the experiment. So the 1 month anniversary is a big deal. In past seasons, when they reach their 1 month, they're all excited. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we've lasted a month. And this month has just flown by. And then normally they get to see their wedding video or get a photo album filled with their wedding picture so they can remember that day. Mind you, the day was only 4 weeks prior. But because so much stuff has happened in that time, getting married, going on a honeymoon, moving in with this person, learning about yourself, learning how to adjust to somebody else, they kind of forget that, oh my gosh, that seemed so long ago. Look at my face. Look how happy I was. And one thing I do like about that is that it reminds them of the vows that they made on their wedding day before they knew who they were getting married to. So because once you get married, especially on this show, when you're meeting this perfect stranger, you have an idea in your head of what kind of wife you want to be and what kind of husband you want to be before you know the kind of wife or husband that the person you're marrying actually needs. So it's kind of good for them to go back and look at what they said prior to knowing who they were marrying and kind of figure out, okay, have I upheld those vows? Are those vows still necessary? What new vows would I add? On this episode, there are only 3 couples that are left, and only one of them actually looked at their wedding video, which I thought was very interesting. So Cameron and Claire, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know why they're still here. They are in this weird space of she doesn't want to lose him, but he is kind of clocked out emotionally. He has tried, okay? He's really been trying. He doesn't feel like he's getting what he needs from her. She is scared of, he's become so important. He's become my best friend. I don't want to lose my best friend. Okay, that's the problem right there. Yes, at some point, your spouse should be your best friend. I'm definitely on board with that concept. My husband is definitely one of my best friends. I love him dearly. But especially when you are in this space of just becoming married, you are a newlywed. She didn't say out of her mouth, I don't want to lose my husband. She said, I don't want to lose my best friend. And right now, those two things are not the same in her head. And that is part of the problem. Because essentially they're just roommates who get along very well. She has the benefit of saying that she has a husband, the benefit of having a man beside her at night, the benefit of having a man in her apartment, just the benefit of being with someone. But she isn't giving him he's not benefiting from this relationship. He thinks she's great. He thinks she's pretty, thinks she's incredibly intelligent. He likes being around her. He can see all the good things that she has to offer, but she is closed off physically. She's probably closed off a little bit emotionally. So he's not getting what he needs. And as a man, he's been trying. He's talked to her. He's been very open and honest about what he needs and trying to work with her to figure out how she can get to a place where she can be a little more physical with him, a little more comfortable with him. They've had multiple conversations with each other and with the experts. And Cameron has been patient up to this point. But now he's at the point where he's like, I've been trying and trying and trying, and you still aren't giving me what I need. So at some point, now he's listening to Orion and he's getting inspired by Orion. At some point, he starts thinking, you know what? I need to do things that make me happy. And I should be putting myself first. And even though I want to be in this marriage, both of us should be getting something out of it. And right now, I'm not. And I understand where he's coming from. I definitely get it. And so they're in a really weird place where he hasn't made a final decision of, I don't want to be married to you anymore. But he's definitely mentally in a place where he's like, I don't want to try anymore. So for their 1 month anniversary, they did not celebrate. They didn't have a conversation about, oh my gosh, it's been a month. They spent that day apart. He went and hung out with his friends, and it was not funny, but he was hanging out with one of his boys, and he was like, yeah, I got the day off from the wife. So you didn't get the day off. You took the day off away from your wife. Did you tell your friend that the day you took off was the day supposed to be your anniversary? But you didn't tell your friend that. So she's like in the house by herself doing whatever. Like, it's just a really weird time for us, and neither one of us felt like celebrating. And it's like, after a month, this is where you guys are. Not only that, with all the couples, after a month, nobody has had sex. Like, really? No one's even close to having sex. That's a problem. That is a big freaking problem. So Cameron and Claire didn't spend the time together. They had a group dinner. Now, I will say, being completely transparent and honest, I turned the episode off shortly into the group dinner. Because by that point, I did not care what anybody had to say. And I'm going to keep it funky with y'all. I just really didn't. I know that people are going to, continue to say, we're working through it. It's hard. Marriage is tougher than I ever thought. And I'm so glad I have you guys to talk to about this because no one else in the world can understand what we're going through. They say that every freaking season, like there weren't seasons before y'all of couples who went through this exact same thing. You guys are not the only people on this planet who have gone through Married at First Sight. Heck, they have iterations of Married at First Sight in other freaking countries. Like, they're not the only ones. But I digress. So at the dinner, I know that she was getting ready by herself, and I guess he met her in the lobby, and then they went there together to talk to the other couples about, so what'd you do in your 1 month? And what have you guys learned? And would you do this all over again? And it's just too much. So I don't know what happened with them. I feel like, again, he hasn't made a conscious decision to say, I want to get a divorce. But it doesn't seem like she's willing to try. And, they say, there's a saying, I remember this movie, it was Shirley MacLaine. She said, physician, heal thyself. And I think I didn't get it at the time when I saw that movie, but I understand now. Basically, every person who is in the business of healing, you guys have a lot of issues and you need to be healed as well. But, and I said this before, when you are a therapist or like a preacher or something like that, you cannot preach or therapize yourself. Every therapist has to have a therapist because just taking on everybody's stuff on a regular basis has to be so incredibly draining for you. And even outside of the stories that you're hearing from your clients, your own life, you got stuff going on. Whether it's for her scars from past relationships that she didn't even know about, it could be stuff from her childhood, it could be a lot of different things. But she hasn't gotten the help that she needs. I don't even know if she has a therapist. But whatever it is, she needs to take the time to kind of figure out exactly what she wants, figure out exactly what she's willing to do. And when she talked to Lauren and Orion talked to Cameron, it was very interesting. It was Orion telling Cameron, look, you need to just, listen to your heart, do what's best for you. And then Lauren's convincing Claire not to throw the towel in too early. So it's like you have this couple who are already on the brink of, destruction. And the woman is being told to keep fighting. The man is being told to walk away. How does that work? And why y'all talking to these people? Now, on one hand, I kind of get it that Cameron is asking Orion for advice because he considers Orion to be brave because you, even though you wanted this marriage, and I know you wanted this marriage, you stood up for yourself and you did what was best for you, even though you knew it meant you weren't going to be married anymore. I mean, on one hand, you can see it that way. On the other hand, you can see that he threw in the towel way too early. Both things can be true at the same time. So I don't think they're the best people to ask for advice from because they're getting divorced now. Why you want to listen to them? No idea. So that's kind of happened. Cameron and Claire. I have no idea. There's no hope there, like none at all. What's that girl name? Emily and Brennan. Brennan is dry toast with a smattering of, I can't believe it's not butter. It's not even real butter. He is boring. He is boring. He is not trying. They have their fun together, and it's normally fun that she's initiating. That's one thing I noticed. Emily is almost always initiating the fun stuff. She's initiating the dates. She's initiating the activities. What the heck is Brennan bringing to the table? Like, what are you doing? I don't understand what you're doing. You're still not attracted to this girl. You're still not trying to make the marriage work. You're not doing anything but waking up beside her every day. Now, they did talk about, because the one thing Dr. P had talked about is increasing the intimacy. Because when I tell you, they ain't kissing, they ain't hugging, they ain't touching, they ain't doing none of that stuff. Dr. P was like, well, why don't you guys, you guys need to start touching each other more. Maybe start from the top of the head and touch each other from the top of the head to the bottom of the feet. Not just all at once, but just in general, get comfortable being around each other. She's like, and the less clothes you have on, the better. Like Dr. P is like, let's get right to it. Just get butt naked and touch each other. If it leads to sex, it leads to sex. If it don't, it don't. But she's like, just get comfortable with it. Because at the end of the day, having sex with someone is great, obviously, but you have to be comfortable with them touching you. Even something small as, when my husband walks past me, he almost always taps my butt. Or if I'm washing dishes, he may come up behind me and wrap his arms around my waist. Or he may just kiss my forehead. Or he may just, if I'm sitting on the couch, take my hand, pull me up and start dancing with me, whatever it is. But I'm comfortable with his touch. If you are not comfortable even with the light touch of touching somebody's hand, their waist, brushing their hair or whatever, then sex is completely off the table. So I understood what she was getting at, and Brennan, even that was too much. He was like, I think that's a little too much. Maybe we can just start with just hugging more. I'm like, again, like Cameron and Claire, you guys are roommates. Like, oh, a hug? Okay, I like hugs. And Emily wants more, and I feel like she's starting to I kind of reached the end of her rope, because before she was like, well, I'm with you and I'm with this and I know that this is going to be a good thing and I'm willing to work with him and blah, blah, blah. This episode, she was like, he's showing progress, but I need you to step it up, bro. Like, I need you to do more. And she didn't necessarily say it to him. She said it in her talking head, but it's clear that you're seeing the frustration. No longer is there like sadness there or determination. It's more like, no, you need to show me more than what you are. Saying you want to hug me more, that's fine. We need to get past that. Like hugging, and not even just an intimacy thing, not just that, but just, again, because of my perspective, she's putting in all the effort. So she's like, I just need more. Like, now, I need you to do more. I need you to say more, talk to me more. I need more. And so I don't see him giving more. I see him as one of those people where he'll be like, well, I don't understand what's the problem? This seems fine. Like, we're in a good place. We're getting along. Like, what's the problem? And it's like, we're getting along, but we're not having sex. We're getting along, but we're not kissing each other. We're getting along, but it's been however many months and you still don't love me, or you still don't find me attractive, or you still whatever. So getting along is not even the bare minimum when it comes to a marriage. That's the bare minimum when it comes to a friend. And we can just be friends. We don't have to do this as a husband and wife. We're not acting like a husband and wife at all. Like, not even a little bit. So I need more. And I don't think he's capable of it. Because you can want to be married all day long. And I say this every time I watch the show, every time I've done a review and recap of the show. You can want to be married all day long and wish and desire in your heart to be someone's husband, to be somebody's wife. That does not mean that when the time comes and the opportunity presents itself, that you are actually capable of being a husband and capable of being a wife. Because again, people come into this experiment with their idea of the kind of wife and husband they want to be, the kind of marriage they want to have. It's fine to have some ideas of that stuff, but you have to be flexible in that idea, because just like you're coming with your whole bullet point list of how this is going to go, the person you're marrying has their own bullet point list. And that doesn't mean the bullets are going to line up. So you guys have to talk. You have to communicate. You have to compromise. You have to give a little bit. You're going to take a little bit. That's how this thing works, called marriage. And too many people come in with this idea. And when that idea doesn't happen, oh my gosh, this person isn't meant for me. Why was I matched with them? This is terrible. That's because you came in thinking like it was going to be one way. And it's like, if you really wanted it that way, if you really are very clear about what you want and you're not willing to deviate from that list at all, then continue dating the regular way. Like, there's lots of other things you could have done instead of being on the show. Being on this show is supposed to be a sign that you are relinquishing this control, because you are not in charge of picking the person. You don't get to pick what they look like. You can say your preference. But again, like I say, every single season, the experts are giving you what you have asked for and what they believe that you need. That's not always going to line up with what you want and what you're used to. What you're used to obviously isn't working because you signed up for the show in the first place. And too many people aren't thinking about that. Either way, I don't see Brennan putting any work in. I think Emily is going to be heartbroken, but I think she's going to be more pissed off at the end of this. And I think that one thing she'll get out of this whole experience is that she's going to realize, I was ready to be in a relationship. I was ready to be a wife. This just wasn't the husband for me. And she's going to go on and she's going to meet somebody else, but she's already going to have that. Like, this is like her practice mirror. She's already going to have that practice and that experience of being a wife, that she's going to be fine. Him, I don't know, and I kind of don't care, but she's going to be just okay. What's the other couple? Austin and Becca. I was so annoyed. I'm like, you guys are the ones doing good. You guys are the ones that are kissing, that are hugging. The physical intimacy is there without the sex, but the physical intimacy is there. You guys are doing so great in that area. That when she first came on the screen crying, and they're calling Pastor Cal, and as soon as she said why she was crying, I was like, are you freaking kidding me? This is what y'all focused on? She's crying because they had some conversation again about religion. I don't understand why they keep having this conversation. She's agnostic. He is Christian. Okay. He said that he's open. She said that she's open to learning new things and whatever. Okay. Religion should not be it shouldn't be a main thing right now, I don't think. Because as far as I've seen, we ain't never seen this man go to church. We ain't seen no Bible in their house. They ain't got no kids. They got to worry about raising Christian or agnostic or whatever. So why is this an issue this early on? She's crying because he told her that he learned in church that basically if you don't love God and you don't follow God, you're going to hell. And he's like, no matter what happens, no matter where you go, I'm going to love you regardless of if you go to hell or not. She's crying because he thinks that I'm going to hell. And I'm man can be married to someone who thinks I'm going to hell. Girl, what? This is what y'all focused on? Focus on the fact that y'all ain't had sex yet. Why can't that be what y'all work on? Let that be the thing you focus on. Have the sex. Y'all like each other. Y'all basically pretty much love each other at this point. Have the freaking sex. I don't get it. I was so confused. Like, girl, this is the conversation y'all having right now? Why? Why is this necessary? One thing that Austin did say to the other couples was that she and I avoided really serious conversations in the beginning. And because of that, it helped them to focus on building the foundation of like, of respect, of caring, of eventually love. So that way, when the deep, darker conversations come up or topics come up, they're able to handle a little bit better because they already know that they care about each other and they're not going to say anything that's going to hurt the other person's feelings. They're going to be open and receptive to hearing new ideas because they already have established this thing over here. And I was like, okay, I get that. And that does make sense. But it's a really, I don't want to say dumb. Religion is a big thing to a lot of people, and I do get that. I just don't understand why now. The timing of it, I thought, was very, very strange and just didn't make sense to me personally. So I thought that was kind of dumb to have this conversation this early. But she was like, I just want you to think about it. I want you to consider that idea. And he's like, okay, I'll think about it. And then you see him talking, I guess, to her friend about religion. And the friend was like, yeah, she's really working on this marriage. And I can tell you're invested as well. And I'm like, I just didn't understand, like, what does she want him to do? She wanted him to, like, to stop believing that. If that's what you learn growing up, that's what you learn. That can't be unlearned in 4 weeks if that's what you've heard your entire life. Like, it just can't be. And it's like, okay, you want him to be open to the idea, but how are you being open to the idea that, because and that's another thing, I think she said she doesn't think hell exists. If you don't think hell exists, then why do you care that he thinks you might be going there? If it don't really exist to you, then you don't got to worry if you go there or not, because it's not really a thing. None of it made any sense to me. I was very confused. I was like, this is a pointless argument. This is not the time, y'all. This is so not the time. So I was just annoyed with her. I feel like she probably brought it up. I was just annoyed. Like, this, no, girl, no. Just, no. No. Those are the couples, y'all. Nobody's having sex. Nobody is staying married. Michael, now, okay, Michael, this is my only favorite part. Michael met with the experts and they said they kind of apologized. They were like, there was nothing in our interviews with your chosen wife that would indicate to us that she wasn't stable and steady and ready for this. We firmly believe that she was ready for this. This has never happened in the history of the show. We are so sorry that you experienced this, but we want to tell you that we really, we picked you because you are a stand-up guy. And the fact that you reacted the way you did to that situation shows how right we were to pick you for this show. And they asked him, like, obviously this is up to you, but we really want to find your wife because you are really deserving to be someone's husband. If we find somebody, and we're going to look hard, we're going to, go through some of the people that we didn't pick or whatever. If we find somebody, would you want to go through this again? He said, yes. He's like, I still want to be married. I still want to be somebody's husband. I still think this would be a good thing for me. So, yes. I was surprised because I feel like they built that up for the drama. And he was going to be like, nah. Because I feel like, granted, you met this woman for maybe 30 seconds at the altar. Didn't get married or whatever. I feel like that, in my head, would be a sign that, you know what, maybe this isn't the way I should go about doing this. Maybe I need to rethink my position, not necessarily in marriage, like thinking maybe I shouldn't get married, but thinking, should I be getting married in this way on this show to someone I've never met before? I would have second guessed that. And I would have taken a little time, not necessarily to heal, but I feel like that is embarrassment on a national scale, right? Is disappointment on a national or international scale. I would need time to kind of process that. Because at this point, it's been, 3-4 weeks since that happened? It's like, I may need a little more time to kind of get past that. I don't think I can just jump into marrying somebody else. Like, I don't think I personally would have done it. But he said yes. I was like, okay. Then he talked to his friends, and one of his female friends, I really liked her. Because he asked her point blank, how do you guys feel about me doing this again? And she told him, and I'm sure it's something that other people watching the show for years like me have been thinking the same thing. She was like, I know you. I know you're going to put your best foot forward and all that stuff. But I'm a little leery of the experts because if their process led to you being stood up at the altar, how are they willing to alter their process now to ensure that does not happen again? And I was like, that is an amazing question and a great concern. And so Dr. Pepper comes in, and that's my first time seeing Dr. Pepper sit and talk to the friends. Because normally when they're telling the person that they're getting married, even if they're with friends or family, whatever, they pull them to the side to tell them, we found you a match, you're getting married in 2 weeks. So they didn't do that this time. Dr. Pepper sat with the friends, and the girl, his friend, is asking her questions. I didn't see Dr. Pepper answering the questions, at least not on camera. But basically she told Michael, like, hey, we found you a match. You're getting married in less than 2 weeks. So timeline-wise, I don't know how that works either. They've all already been married for 4 weeks. Michael's getting married in less than 2 weeks. Does that mean, which I hope it would mean, that I'm trying to think, because the way they shoot the show is also kind of weird. This was week 10, between 9, 10, and 11 of us watching the show, but they've only been married for 4 weeks. So it's like however long they've been married, that kind of doubles, I guess, how many episodes in we are. Because the episodes typically last about 16 weeks. So if they've been married 4 weeks, he's getting married in less than 2 weeks. By the time he gets married, they would have already been married, assuming they all stay married at that point, for 6 months. For 6 weeks. Does that mean for him that after they have their 8 weeks and after they have their personal decision day, will the show continue with just Michael and his new wife as we sit with them for that 8-week period? I'm very curious to know how they're going to do this. Obviously, they've never tackled this issue before. This has never happened. So I'm kind of curious. But I like Michael as a person. So again, I'd be perfectly fine just focusing on him. I don't need to focus on these other people because I have no hope. Nobody's staying married. And even if any of them, which I doubt, if any of them say yes on decision day, nobody is staying married past like maybe 6 months. And that's being generous. So that is my review and recap. Let me know if you guys watched the entire episode. Let me know what you guys think about Michael saying yes to getting married again. I guess, I don't know if again is the right word. He technically married the first time. But tell me what you guys think about him opening himself up to being matched with another person. And what do you think about Cameron and Claire? Do you think they're completely done? What do you think about Becca and Austin and Emily and Brennan? Do you think any of these people are going to make it at all? Just comment below. And again, make sure you like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you guys sometime next week.